Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I am truly honored that you are giving me your time tonight and that you are spending it with me to learn more about coherence and building your resilience and your resourcefulness. So let's get started, shall we? I will, as I'm doing this by myself, you will see me once in a while allowing others to come in, but it should not interrupt us. All right, here's what I have for you. My mission for you today is to show you how you can create a state of inner coherence. Coherence is, as it is written, is a state where your heart, your brain, and your nervous system work together in harmony with one another. So the benefit for having a coherent state is that you can think more clearly, be that under pressure or otherwise, that you can make better decisions and you can access your natural resilience and resourcefulness. Now, by the end of our time, what I have for you is that you understand why you get stuck in these incoherent states, why you get stuck in these stress loops, in these mental loops, the repeat, and why you're handicapping your biology. And as I said before we got on, it's my approach to these issues have changed over the years. I I am obviously still working with mindset, but the problem is that I have learned is that you can't start with mindset when the house is on fire. So you first have to deal with the biology, calming that inner fire, the nervous state down, and then we can start looking at what the cause is. All right. One thing that I want you to understand is that everything you need is already within you. And that sets you apart from others is the fact that you are here and that you are seeking that which is already within you. And I am here to help you to access the parts that are at this point still hidden from you. And here's what I've got for you. Tonight, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to help you understand what keeps high achievers and most other people get stuck in their stress mode and their incoherent mode, although they may be outwardly rather successful, externally successful, internal crumbling. I will give you some research. I will also show you one technique tonight that will guide you, will be a first step for you to take control back. I will give you um, a couple of bonuses. I have something lined up for you, and I'll get to that in a moment. And at the end, I will unmute you, and you can ask me some questions. All right, so let me introduce myself quickly. I am the author of these two books. They're available on Amazon. And I am also, I have studied clinical hypnotherapy. I am a master practitioner of NLP, positive psychology, timeline therapy. I have attended HeartMath Institute classes, and I am also getting my practitioner degree in neurosomatic dynamics. All of this put together has helped me to formulate a different way of addressing something that is so incredibly prevalent, especially now. We are inundated with stress and anxiety for good reason, but what I am learning every day is that whether there's a reason or there's not, there are better ways to deal with it. Yes, I'm working with entrepreneurs, professionals, and high achievers to help them to get from frenzy to flourishing. All right, so let's get started and move straight to the problem. I'm sure that you've been there many times. I know for certain I have been. There's something that you need to get done. There's a deadline looming, or perhaps there is something at your work you'd like to step up to the next position, to the next level up, make more money, have more influence, and feel better about yourself because you deserve it. But then what happens is that you start feeling this incredible tension coming up inside of you. You feel your hands getting sweaty and really clammy. You start feeling the sweat pouring down when you think about it. I personally tend to flush on top of that. And everything inside of you is screaming, alert, alert, shut down, shut down. And what happens is that you've studied it, you've read on it, you've listened to podcasts, you've done all those things, and yet in the moment, it all fleets because it's as if your body is taking over, and it's not as if, it is taking over as your brain shuts down. Think about it. I'm sure you've been there many times before. Your nervous system gets stuck under stress and anxiety. What happens is there is tension. The body senses that there is a state of threat. Excitement can be threat too. It's that alertness, there is something happening in you. And what the body does is that it goes for protection, protection, protection. So it goes on high alert. Your body reacts to this stressor, the trigger, the anxiety. Your mind goes through loops. And the bigger the threat, perceived or real, the bigger the threat is, the more disconnected you become from your body. It's when the threat is so overwhelming, it's as if you're stepping out of your body, and you actually do. You become disconnected, disassociated, numbed up. That's the fawn response. And there's a separation between body and spirit. Every attempt that you take to stop the trigger actually increases it, because now the system feels under threat. So what happens in the end, that this protective mechanism keeps you protected in what it believes to be safe, but far, far removed from where you'd like to be, where you see yourself going, where you'd like to be right now. So there is this huge gap from where you are to where you want to be. And you, or your system, is keeping you where it believes you to be safe. The devastating part is that it's not only uncomfortable, and believe me, it is uncomfortable, but it's costly. In this state, you cannot see or hear anything but being under attack, the threat mode. It's costing you opportunities and possibilities. It affects your relationships. It's as if you are behind bulletproof glass. You can see it, you can't get through it. That's really what happens with your energy. The problem, the reason why this happens, is because your unconscious mind and your nervous system and your limbic system are not logical. They are purposeful, and their purpose is to keep you protected and safe. That's why they keep you where you are. Why is it a problem? Well, it's pretty obvious, but let's go through it. It damages, of course, possibilities, opportunities. It limits your possibilities, opportunities. It can damage your relationships, because it's not only that it's restricted to work, but in private relationships, personal relationships, it can affect you. It undermines your confidence. You start second guessing everything you do. you waste a tremendous amount of time, not only in mental loops, but in avoidance. You do everything and anything to not face the thing that gives you such anxiety. And by doing that, you're enhancing and making the thing that gives you such anxiety even bigger, while it's making you weaker. The fact is that your nervous system is running the show to protect you. That's the problem. So it also doesn't get any better on its own. It always gets worse. Anything that we don't attend to always falls into disrepair, be that our home repairs. If we think, oh, it will fix itself, think again, it doesn't. We need to address these situations. If that is, we'd like to feel better, do better, and have the things we aim for. So when we work on it, you're training your body and your biology to become less reactive and more responsive. So you're training your nervous system to do the way it is supposed to be operating and not to be like running amok. The longer it goes on, the more it affects everything. Because here's what's happening. When you find yourself in a chronic state of stress and anxiety, that means all the time, every day, nonstop, you're exhausting your energy system. With every perceived threat, every tiniest little thing, you also start overreacting, mind you. Your system shoots off. You pull all your resources, your blood, your oxygen, your chemicals, your hormones, to send it to that perceived threat. And it gets stuck because it hits the wall of your interior walls as there is no threat. So the loop, the circle cannot be completed. Here it gets stuck again and again, and it gets bigger. What happens? It affects your emotional states, your mental states, your physical states. You will, by not paying attention, you will pay with pain. It affects the heart, the lungs, it affects your blood sugar, it affects, of course, your neurology, and it can even lead to cancer. Obviously, it affects your relationships at work, at home, in society. So there's a high cost to pay for not doing. Perhaps the first step may be uncomfortable, but at the end of this road, you will find that you gain so much more. To support my claims, here are some data points. This is a study from the HeartMath Institute where it shows that when you're in a state of stress or frustration, your heart rate becomes more erratic. That's the red line up here. That's also an incoherent state. And when you are, though, in a state of appreciation, gratitude, love, care, it becomes completely balanced. And in those states, the balanced, coherent state, you have the possibility to access your prefrontal cortex, your cognitive thinking, and you can make better decisions. Furthermore, it is the heart that sends signals to the brain, not the brain to the heart. So focusing on the heart, which also corresponds to metaphysical beliefs that it is the heart is your true brain. Going back to different beliefs, which is not for here. But focusing on your heart is huge. It's a game changer. The nervous system, the resilience research shows that people who can shift from the sympathetic, the flight, fight, freeze, and fawn activation to the parasympathetic quickly, which is the rest, digest, and recover state, They make better decisions under pressure. They also report higher levels of well-being and satisfaction. They stay calm under pressure, which is why they can access their thinking brain. Neuroscience on coherence research shows that when your heart, brain, and nervous system synchronize, it increases your access to your prefrontal cortex. Let me give you a little a side point on that. When you are in a state of threat, when you are being attacked, perceived or real, it is the job of your nervous system to protect you. So everything else becomes secondary. Primary is your survival. Therefore, you can only access the limbic system, the amygdala, and the sympathetic nervous system. They are together to protect you. In times of threat, that is extraordinarily helpful. You need it. But here's the key. When it is shoots off for every little thing, that's when you become dysregulated. And here it shows you that with their quick coherence technique, which they started at this 300 time at the 300 time mark, the moment they did that technique, the system calmed down. It's fascinating, isn't it? Let me explain coherence. Again, it's when the heart, brain, and nervous system work in alignment. Let me explain this to you like this. Imagine you are coming to a concert. And before the concert, every instrument is tuning their own personal, they tuning their instrument. Everyone plays at the same time in all the notes, but they're playing incoherently. And when you hear those sounds, it's really rather very unpleasant. It's very disharmonious. When the conductor comes in and they start playing the melody the way it was written, or when they're supposed to be playing it, that's when coherence. They are in coherence and they're coherent, and it produces a beautiful piece of music. That's coherence. How it works to build resilience is, first of all, when we choose to become coherent, when we learn how to do it, we're going from out of the fight or flight, the sympathetic nervous system, into a balanced state, preventing our nervous system from dysregulation. We enhance clarity instead of all that noise and that fog, that fog that happens when our blood pressure shoots up high. So by lowering the heart rate and lowering our blood pressure, we can hear more, we can see more, we can feel more, and we can access our internal resources and resilience because we can think again. And we're not shooting our energy all over the place when in reality, we should put it towards harmony and wholeness. It builds inner stability by creating that harmony, that home base, self-coherence, to return to being less reactive. It reveals your strengths because you're building that resilience and resourcefulness by not being overwhelmed, by not giving it all away, but giving it to yourself instead. You're strengthening it and you're expanding your internal capacity, like the capacity of your phone. Instead of giving it away to all the apps that are running on in the background, you're closing those apps and you're building, therefore, a bigger capacity to deal with things that are coming on your way. So let's break the problem into the three parts: dysregulation, disconnection, and depletion. Dysregulation is when your system is stuck in survival. It gets stuck in the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn and cannot shift back to safety. It's your body feels the threat. It must react defensively and it must be at all times on high alert. It cannot relax. Again, that's your nervous system doing what it's supposed to be doing, but by us training it through our perception, is we're training it to be always on high alert. That can happen because of past experiences, childhood, or trauma that we have created this pattern and this behavior, and it is stuck in this particular system, and it continues to do so. So, how to move from survival to freedom is by learning to lower your response, your reaction to the external events. When you create that coherence, you can interrupt the stress. You can interrupt the pattern. You can stop it in its track, or even better yet, before you go there, you can anticipate that, for example, there's a board meeting coming up and you won't allow yourself to get stressed and nervous, but rather to stay calm and coherent in the moment, so to do it better. Signs of dysregulation are the tension or numbness in your body, the shallow breathing. It is shallow and fast, and that's why you're not oxygenating your body properly, or you're holding your breath. You are exhausted because you're shooting off all your energy that leaves nothing for you. You have an emotional numbness. That's when you are in overwhelm. You step out because it is so profound, the state of shock and stress, or you explode at every little thing. You can't relax, even when you know there's no threat. And there's a true paradox, because people believe who deal with this, that when they are relaxed, that they are not alert, and they can't have that, so they're always on super vigilance, hypervigilance, and they can never relax, which unfortunately drains their system. The cost of dysregulation is that you cannot access higher brain functions, those things that really can get you through normal stressful situations. And what I'm teaching you here tonight in a moment is how you can quickly access that calm state anytime you want, on demand. Disconnection is when your nervous system is so disconnected because you cut really the ties to yourself because of the overwhelm, and you can't access your inner resource. You can't access your intuition. You can't access your prefrontal cortex. And therefore, you're cutting yourself off from that coherent state, the state where you could address the situation much better. And it's like you're locking yourself behind glass doors, and you can see you have those assets, but you can't get to them. How to access your inner resources is through the psychophysiological coherence. You're getting your heart, brain, and nervous system to talk to each other, like when the concert plays in harmony. We are made up of so many parts. We are so complex and yet so simple. When you're in coherence, again, you access that prefrontal cortex. You can bring all the parts together and you can be whole, unified, and therefore stronger and more resilient. The depletion is very much, we can really compare it with our phones. When we drain our battery by having all these apps being open, the movies running in the background, and then we're surprised that we have no battery left, no energy, no life force left. That's pretty much what we're doing when we are feeding the problem. We are putting our energy in those things, the external or internal stressors. We are running at a deficit. We can try to push through it with caffeine, willpower, with affirmations, but underneath it, we can't kid the system. You're drained. You have nothing left because you've given it into unnecessary energy drains, and you can't bounce back quickly from it. How to build those life forces is about closing the apps in the background, understanding that you don't need to react to everything. You can let certain things go. It's awareness. By having an awareness that that's how the system works and that there is a choice. There is a choice. You don't have to take that bait every time and react like that. When you practice coherence regularly, you're building on energy reserves, strengthening your nervous system's capabilities to handle stress better. But what you're also doing is, instead of reinforcing the neural pathways that don't serve you well, you're building new ones by continuously doing the positive work and the coherent training, the techniques that I'm showing you. So you're building yourself from the inside out to address your life situations better. What needs to shift is your emotional state. It comes before the thinking part. That's a huge awareness. Being aware of where you are, understanding your nervous system, how you deal with fear, stress, anxiety, worries, and past pain, how you build coherence, resilience, and resourcefulness. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain this technique right now, and then we're going to do this. I hope you join me for about 3 minutes. I will set my timer so that we do this together. I will guide you through it with a timer, and I am sure that you will notice the difference right away. It's a very simple technique, but don't be fooled by simplicity. It is in complexity that we create problems, not with simplicity. All right, so here's what we're going to be doing. Step number 1, I'd like you to bring your focus to your heart area. You can place one hand or both hands over your heart and just shift your focus from your head or whatever else to your heart. Then what I'd like you to do is imagine breathing in and out through your heart area, as if you're breathing into your heart and out of your heart. Breathe in just a little bit slower and deeper than usual. Maybe count to an inhale to a 4 count and an exhale to 7. Find a rhythm that feels comfortable and easy for you. Then, once you start getting into this rhythm, I want you to activate genuine positive feelings, emotions, not fake positivity. So, to do that, I'd like you to remember a moment of true appreciation, care, or ease. Ease is also important. Maybe think of a pet that you love or someone that you love, or a time when you felt really peaceful or a moment of accomplishment. Feel it. Absolutely feel it. Don't just think about it. So activate that heart muscle. And you're going to do this for about 3 minutes, exactly 3 minutes. And just to let you know, this isn't relaxation. This is about a state of coherence. All right. So I suggest you can close your eyes or keep them open, whatever is more comfortable for you. All right. So let's get started. Now I'd like you to take your hands and place them on your heart, either one or both hands. Bring your attention to your heart area and breathe in through the nose to a count of 4 and exhale through the mouth to a count of 7. And you don't need to count at all. If you don't like to, just breathe in through the nose, a shorter inhale and a longer exhale. Find a rhythm that feels comfortable. And now I'd like you to go back or imagine a time when you felt really, really good. Perhaps you can think of someone you truly love and allow that feeling of love to expand. Imagine seeing your heart expanding. It can be a pet, or go to a time that was so peaceful. You felt so grateful or appreciative of something. Just allow that to become bigger and bigger. Allow that feeling to move through your body as you breathe in to your heart and out of your heart. And you may even want to add seeing light around your heart. Imagine a glow around your heart, and that glow expands all the way out as you continue breathing in shorter and out longer. Connect with your heart and feel this wonderful, loving, peaceful, easy feeling. And now just take a last inhale and longer exhale. Ah. And you can even make that sound. That's right. And now you can come back out and just check it out and noticing what has altered already in your body. All right. You have everything you need. It's already within you, as I said in the beginning. You may be stuck in an undesirable pattern, but doesn't mean that you have to stay there. We can change our patterns. When you have the right tools and the right understanding, you can push, you can flow through it actually. There's no pushing necessary, a flowing through it. One of my clients was in an absolute state of chaos. She had just returned from a business trip. Before the business trip, had been a chaotic family situation that ripped open old wounds from her childhood. Being already more vulnerable, she went on this trip and it became even more chaotic, so much so that her system went into absolute, did the right thing for her. She came down with COVID, which protected her from having to make any decisions. And therefore, she left quickly But upon her return, she couldn't calm her system down. When we were in our first meeting, upon her return, all I could see is she was jumping from chair to chair, from room to room. She was in absolute a hot mess. And there was absolutely no way that I could address any mindset issues with her in that state. So all we did is we worked on her to address the problem first. And the problem is not always the thing that we think the problem is. It's usually we first need to work with the nervous system. We need to deal with the symptom, which is her spinning in these mental loops over and over and over again. Calm her down, connect with her heart, doing the breath work to calm her down. A week later, when she got back, she had done the work. I'd sent her the Breath of Life recording. She started to work with it, and she stayed in one place. She was still a little bit on edge, but she stayed in one room, not jumping from room to room, from chair to chair. She calmed down. That's when we could start working with the cause. What had brought her the cause? Brought this on, and I started working with her with the timeline therapy, which brought her the relief she was looking for. And she understood what caused this emotional eruption like a volcano. And here's what you need to hear. We are not so different. We are unique, but we're also not that different. When we are stuck in our head, spinning in our mental loops, that's not because we're incapable or incompetent. It's because our nervous system, like hers, is doing what it's supposed to be doing. And it did protect her. She got sick, so she didn't have to commit to something that she may have regretted. Actually, she would have regretted it. But this is not the way we want to live every day of our lives, is it? And it's time really to see things differently, to not see things through this super level of protection that was something we needed perhaps way back when, but now we've reached a point, and you're here to learn to regulate so that it works properly when needed, not all the time. And for many people, logically, that is really great, but there are still many roadblocks that they find are on their way. Roadblock number one that I hear all the time is, I don't have time for this. Truth is, you don't have time. You don't have time not to do this. Thank God I got it out. So the thing is, that is a fallacy. Yes, we do have time. And here's the thing. This practice took 3 minutes. My recommendation is, as you start on this journey, to do this not only when it's needed, but to start practicing this a few times per day. It takes 3 minutes. Put a reminder on your phone to remind you to do this, so that you can bring a new state into your nervous system, a new normal. That's what I would like you to start working on. This is too simple to work. My problems are too complex. Yes, I hear this a lot. What you need to hear is that when your system is dysregulated, everything feels more complex, more overwhelming, more impossible, which leads you to look for more complexity. The simplicity of coherence is exactly what makes it so powerful. The clearance is, simplicity is the key to success. When we can explain, for example, a difficult concept in simple words, that means we've got it. When we use complex practices, I can guarantee you, you're never going to get it done. Already the system is going, oh no, too much. And I feel you because I don't like it either. Complexity is a belief that your intellectual mind offers to protect you from change. Reality is simplicity. The biology needs a simple reset. I hear this often too. I've tried many things and they didn't work. This isn't meditation. This isn't, and I'm not against meditation. I meditate every single day. This is different though. This addresses something in your biology because you're connecting to the heart. You're literally connecting to that and you're breathing in and out. The breath, the heart, the nervous system. Therein lies the success of this technique. So don't underestimate this. This is not about positive thinking, and positive thinking works, but not when you're in a heightened state. As I'm saying this, I remember a client saying to me, he was dealing with severe depression, depressive states, the up and down, the up and down. And he said, I'm so sick and tired of all these affirmation and these mantras I keep saying. And it's just nothing is changing when I'm in that state. It can't change it when they're in that state. Again, at first we need to calm it down so that then it's like you can't seed the ground when it's hard like a rock. You have to soften it so that you can open the pathways and this information can enter. But got Patricia so incoherent is, she's one of my clients. She got promoted to a high six-figure job and VP of sales and marketing of the United States for a major company. She has a 1-year-old baby, has a personal life, was extremely successful, which is why, of course, she was chosen to become the VP. And suddenly, she feels so stressed and so overwhelmed by something she's made up in her mind that this is too much, this is too big, maybe she can't do it. Her ego, her unconscious mind are trying to keep her protected. And that's why she goes into this overwhelm to keep her really where she used to be. How many of you have experienced this when you start a new project and you go, oh, I can't do this, shut down, avoidance, running away, and you're making the problem even worse. Same thing I did with her as I did with my other client. First, we need to calm that nervous system down. Everyone knows that you go farther faster with a guide who's done it before. I wish I had known this years ago when it took me forever to find my calm, because the reason why I'm attracted to this is I know how to do overwhelm. I know how to do nervous. I can do it very easily and perfectly, I find. Now, I made this presentation for all of you, and that's why it's I've given you this one practice, and this works for everyone. This is why I've done it, because what I want you to take away from this is that you're leaving tonight with one tool that you can access anytime, any minute, and start working on your nervous system. The fact is, though, too, that you are unique. You have unique triggers. You have a unique history. We are not all the same. Yes, there are obviously characteristics that are the same, but you are different. And because of that, I have also focused on that. And that's why I have created a new PDF, which is the 5-day coherence building protocol. I also have the Chaos Karma, which is a recording, and the breath of life meditation. I call it meditation. It's really a 7-step, 7-stage trauma work. And I'm going to give all of that for you tonight for free. The Coherence program, building protocol, is a 5-day program. It's a PDF that I will give to you, baseline and foundation. Day 1, interrupting the stress loop, building coherence, reserves, coherence under pressure, and your coherence blueprint. The chaos karma is about 3 or 4 techniques that are not only good, again, for when you are stressed, but they are fabulous to practice and becoming calmer every day. The breath of life follows the 7 stages of trauma as seen through neurosomatic perspectives, which is that trauma is energy that becomes trapped, stuck, and it builds up and it builds up and it cannot complete its cycle. But when you work with these 7 different techniques through the 7 different cycles or trauma steps, levels, then you can help your system to calm down and go into the flow state and into your freedom state. Why am I giving you these free bonuses? There's got to be a catch to it. There always is. I don't call it a catch. I call it an incentive. And I've made it to become an easy decision for you. To join my course, I've just ended it this week, and I'm going to give it again. The catalyst. You are the catalyst, the driver of your state, taking you from stuck to unstoppable and transforming your biggest obstacles into your greatest breakthrough. This course focuses on patterns that are across your body, your mind, and your spirit, the triad. The reason I built this course is, as I told you, I've been observing that most people are unaware of this synergy between the body, the mind, and the spirit. But you've got to start where the problem lies, and it starts in the biology. If you don't work on that level, we can spend hours and days and weeks on mindset programs. They may be successful, but it's a long journey. This is faster, easier, and more successful. And here's what I teach in this course. First day, we address the nervous system. Second day, we're expanding your energy capacity. Third day, rewire, regulate, and redefine for the nervous system. Day 4 is understanding trauma through the perspective of the nervous system and stress. And day 5, we're putting it all together and building a new foundation by helping you to learn to raise your baseline with every day and every approach. This is what it's going to do for you. I'm teaching you heart-focused breathing, the Tipsy Suggestion Framework, quick coherence, flash induction. I added self-hypnosis and affirmations to it because I feel very strongly, I have, as I said, training in clinical hypnotherapy, that when we are in this open state, we can give suggestions, positive suggestions to our unconscious mind and help ourselves to get faster to where we want to be. We close with future self-visualization and anchoring techniques, taking you from survival to safety to flow and end on freedom. Here's what you can do for yourself, and that is by saying yes to yourself for only $47, 5 days. Realistically, it takes 60 to 90 minutes, starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Here's the thing. I believe that I'm going to also offer it the week after that at my time, 1 p.m. That's Eastern Standard Time, because I realize the time zones in Europe and in other parts of the world that may be more helpful for you. So I will keep you posted. I will send you an email on that. Say yes, that's right. For saying yes to the catalyst, you're getting for $47 the course, the coherence building program, the chaos karma, and the breath of life meditation. All of that. For $47, a dinner at home, you nourish your body. For $47 to the catalyst, you're feeding your energy field. And I wonder if that isn't worth $47. And you may wonder whether this is a scam. Not for $47. Is there really a solution? I guarantee you there is. Will it work for you? That I don't know, because I don't know if you're going to commit yourself to do the work. If you commit yourself to be open and to be open-minded. Can I bring you this solution? I've brought it to many, many people, and I know it does. If it doesn't work, if you're doing the work and you're not happy with what I'm giving you, I give you your $47 back. Best investment in yourself. Oh, you know what I can do now? Here's what I will do. I will put this in the chat. There is a link for you to make that payment now. There's also a link to finding relief. So here's what I started saying that in the beginning. The first step is quelling the fire. When your house is on fire, when your car is on fire, you can't start working on fixing, repairing the engine when the thing is on fire. There is a sequence to it. The other thing I was thinking of this morning was I usually wouldn't do the following: blow dry my hair and style it, and then go take a shower and wash it. Same thing. We're starting with the biology to calm your system down, to make you already feel like $1,000,000, because when you're coherent, you get access to that inner confidence. You stop the self-doubting, the worrying, the anxiety. That is such a negative and really truly annoying state. The truth is that instead of being overwhelmed, you get calm and clarity. You can take action instead of just thinking about it and planning and really avoiding. You achieve your goals faster. You break those old habits and past patterns that you really don't want and sometimes aren't even aware of. A year ago, almost a year ago, I didn't realize I was in a pattern until I suddenly, it was like boom. The other day, I caught myself before I got triggered. And I went, wow, how cool is that? I have started building, I'm raising my baseline with every time. So I am truly in a totally thrilled and excited about this. And here's another easy and fast way is by applying my bonuses right away. Start now. And you have truly a choice. Do you want to repeat or do you want to evolve? Repeating is staying stuck. This pain, I know. Today, as a matter of fact, a private client, her mother had signed her up to start working with me. She's suffering from extreme anxiety. She has extreme anxiety, social anxiety, whatever. Let's not go into all of these problems. But a week ago, she was supposed to start with me Friday afternoon, and I'm waiting. And at 5 minutes, I'm saying, where are you? I'm in our Zoom room. No answer. 10 minutes later, I write another text message to her. I said, I'm leaving. You're not here. Then I get, I'm so sorry. I was in a class. I've completely forgot. I knew already. I can hear it. I can feel it. I've seen it before. Then the answer was, I'm so upset. I wish that, I apologize. Then the mother writes to me saying, she would rather like to come to you in person when she's home from her college. Okay. I was questioning it. Then I got an email saying she's not quite sure if she wants to start at all. And I responded, I knew this was happening when she stood me up. She was already entering the avoidance stage. And by going into the avoidance stage, what she's really doing is she is making the fear, the threat even bigger and bigger while she's undermining her self-esteem. She's taking away from her inner resources to feed the thing that fears her soul, that gives such panic into her system. So there it is. She chose to stay, is not yet decided whether she is choosing to stay there, repeat, or choosing to evolve. Where when you evolve, you become open-minded. You're going towards the solution, away from the pain, and you are open to seeing, finding, seeking things that work. And you truly haven't come this far to just come this far, because this is just step one step in your journey to becoming the person that you are truly meant to be. And here's the thing that I realized once I started this journey myself is that when we work on this level, but the problem is down here, you can't fix it up here when it's done here. It's like Fort Knox is hidden in the basement, but you're working up on the penthouse. You're not going to fix it. So you haven't come this far to just stay here and say no to continuing your growth, and growth will always happen. The choice though is, are you choosing it or is it just happening to you? You're here because you want more. It's not enough for you, and you're not enjoying to be stuck in old patterns, to be stuck in a body that is reactive and that does what it thinks is best instead of you being in control of your body. You're here because you want more and you want something better. You want to get to where you want to be, where you know that you can be. You have so much potential that's stuck. If only you had tools to interrupt things that work. The fastest way to customize is when you customize this. We are who we are unique. There is a path that is specific to your biology, to your patterns, and to your life. The other easy option that I have for you is to get on a free call with me. You have the link for a 40-minute free personal breakthrough session. And here's how we do that. You get on my calendar by going on the apply thing, grab a time that works for you. It's 40 minutes. And all I need from you is to be prepared, to be open, to be vulnerable. It's private. It's obviously you're protected through confidentiality, whether it's free or not free. You can tell me truthfully and honestly what the biggest issue is that you're working with. Obviously, in 40 minutes, we have only time for one thing. Tell me about it. I will listen to you. I will ask some questions, and I will give you something that you can get started to work on. And if it seems a good idea for you to work with me, we can talk about it. If not, that's just fine with me. And you also will get the free bonuses when you get after you've been on this call with me. Now, this is not something that works for people like the client who chooses to be rather in anxiety. I know when we're dealing with anxiety that it can be overwhelming, but it is your choice to either repeat or to evolve. It is uncomfortable, and personally, I chose to evolve when I went through this journey myself. I give this to you because I have been through this journey and I want to help you to become the person that you are meant to be. The ladies that have been in my Catalyst class have understood why this is so important to me. And when you join my course, you will see why this is not only because it's important for you, but it's far bigger than that. That's why I do this. So, quick recap. We talked tonight about dysregulation, disconnection, and depletion, which keep you stuck in these patterns. The problem is you drain the asset, the hugest asset in your body, and that is your energy, your life force, your cognitive abilities to give to something that is unworthy, and it's not meant to be that way. Why you have to solve it, obviously, because otherwise you won't get to the place where you're meant to be and what you're capable of. The quick coherence technique will help you starting tonight. And the truth is, you have what it takes. You just haven't discovered it yet. You're not there yet. And all the other things are just keeping you where it may feel safer now. And with that, I conclude, and I will turn the recording off so that any of you who wish